Which new manager has been more impressive so far, Rosenior or Carrick?
Oh, I'm going to say the younger manager, Rosenior.
Okay, who would you say?
It has to be Carrick, isn't it?
Right.
City, Arsenal.
Perfect so far.
4 games, 4 wins, 12 points each. Same league, same perfect start. But that's where the similarities end. At Chelsea, a squad drowning in talent suddenly looks calm again.
Corella, what an angle he's found there. Oh, yes.
Hat-trick!
Fewer shots, fewer risks, but far fewer problems. At Manchester United, control has returned in a different way. More authority, faster decisions, and a team that looks like it trusts itself again.
They're needing a winner. Can Šeško provide it? He can!
2 clubs under pressure, 2 managers walking into chaos. Liam Rosenior didn't arrive to rebuild. He arrived to simplify.
My biggest focus is not about being Chelsea manager, it's about being a winning Chelsea manager.
Michael Carrick didn't chase domination. He chased belief. One side concedes less, the other creates more. One values control, the other values timing. And when you dig into the numbers, expected goals, defensive actions, possession patterns, discipline, the story becomes far more complicated than 4 wins each. Here's the thing. Identical records don't mean identical performances. One team is defending its way back to relevance. The other is attacking its way back to authority. One manager removed the noise. The other restored the trust. So when 2 teams win the same amount but play completely different football, who's actually performing better? The answer isn't in the table. It's in how they're winning and what happens when the wins stop coming. 2 managers, 2 philosophies, same record, different roads. Let's find out who's really built something that lasts. To understand this story, you need to understand what happened at both clubs before these managers arrived. At Chelsea, the problem was never talent, it was overload. A squad stacked with technical quality, depth in every position, and attacking options most teams could only envy. But instead of fluency, Chelsea looked burdened by ideas. Too many tactical tweaks, too many instructions between phases, too many players second-guessing their decisions. The numbers reflected it. Chelsea were still seeing plenty of the ball, over 13,000 passes across the campaign. But possession rarely translated into authority. They entered the opposition box often, yet shots came in bursts rather than waves. Expected goals suggested promise, but performances felt disjointed. Confidence wasn't gone, but it was fragile. One mistake could change the tempo of an entire half. Games felt heavy, not expressive. Chelsea didn't need a rebuild. They needed calm. That was the context Liam Rosenior walked into. At Manchester United, the crisis looked different, but ran just as deep. This wasn't about excess, it was about erosion. Results had started to slip. Control, once the backbone of United's best performances, was fading. Matches became stretched, transitions chaotic, midfield phases rushed rather than managed. United were still shooting plenty, still generating moments, but games no longer bent to their rhythm. They reacted more than they dictated. Discipline numbers climbed, fouls increased, structure wavered, and with that came hesitation. Players looked unsure when to press, when to pause, when to accelerate. The identity shifted from match to match. United didn't need invention. They needed belief restored. That was the challenge facing Michael Carrick. Then came the symmetry. 4 games, 4 wins, 12 points. On paper, it was identical. But football isn't played on paper. Chelsea's 4 wins felt measured. Lower tempo, clear spacing, control without urgency. They managed them. United's 4 wins felt different. Sharper edges, quicker decisions, authority in moments that previously felt uncertain. They didn't dominate every phase, they chose when to strike. Same results, completely different sensations. And that's where this story truly begins, because when records are equal, performance tells the deeper truth. What stands out immediately about Chelsea under Liam Rosenior is not invention, it's reduction. Chelsea's structure has simplified into a clear, repeatable base shape, most commonly a 4-2-3-1 that becomes a 3-2-5 in possession. One fullback tucks in, the other holds width. The double pivot stays connected. Nothing dramatic, nothing experimental, but crucially, nothing confusing. The numbers underline this shift. Chelsea average more passes, 13,329, than United across the same span, yet they take fewer shots at 242. That tells you everything about intent. This is not possession for spectacle. It's possession for order, the tempo is controlled, the spacing is disciplined. Players receive the ball already knowing their next option. Pressing, too, is no longer reactive. Chelsea's 254 interceptions, significantly higher than United's, reflect a side defending with structure rather than desperation. They step in, not dive in. Chelsea's higher card count isn't recklessness, it's tactical fouling stopping chaos before it starts. This is Rosenior's real contribution. He didn't add layers, he removed noise. Chelsea aren't trying to overwhelm opponents anymore. They're trying to outlast mistakes. And that's leadership through clarity. If Chelsea are controlled, Michael Carrick's Manchester United are decisive. United's base shape often mirrors a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, but the difference lies in behavior, not diagrams. The midfield balance is the key. United's numbers show a team that still plays forward instinctively, more touches and dangerous central zones at speed. Yet they don't rush. Carrick's United wait for triggers. That's why transitions look cleaner. That's why decisions arrive faster. Instead of dominating possession, United dominate moments. The midfield triangle stays compact. Passing lanes remain short. Risk is taken deliberately, not emotionally. You see it in the physical data. More aerial duels, higher shot volume without a collapse in structure. Defensively, United concede more, but they also accept pressure as part of the plan. They're comfortable without the ball if it means striking at the right time. This is Carrick's philosophy in practice. He hasn't tried to choreograph every movement. He's trusted players to read situations, and when players feel trusted, they play quicker, freer, and sharper. Chelsea simplified to control chaos. United trust structure to unlock authority. One side slows the game down, the other approach is reckless. Neither is rigid, but they reveal two very different interpretations of control. And that contrast is exactly why the same record feels completely different. Football becomes elegant when players rediscover confidence. When structures feel secure, instincts take over. That's the common principle behind Chelsea's calm and United's authority under their new coaches. Let's start with the Blues. Cole Palmer's impact is impossible to ignore. Despite injury setbacks this season, Palmer scored a first-half hat-trick in a 3-1 win over Wolves, becoming the first player in Premier League history to record multiple first-half hat-tricks, and continuing to reach elite scoring landmarks for Chelsea. Palmer's finishing and presence in the final third have given Chelsea a cutting edge they'd lacked. In games when he's available, the Blues don't just attack, they threaten consistently, and opponents feel it. But Palmer isn't working alone. João Pedro hasn't just scored goals, he's created chances, won fouls, and unsettled defenses with his movement. In the same Wolves game, he won 2 penalties that Palmer converted. His combination play with Palmer has given Chelsea a dual threat up front, goals from one, space and chaos from the other. Then there's Estevão, the Brazilian teenager who has already made waves with his fearless creativity, even earning comparisons to elite talents and showing clutch winning moments despite his age. And the foundation? Chelsea's fullbacks and wide players are no longer reactive cogs, they're proactive. Marc Cucurella's assist for Palmer, clean defensive contributions, and movement up the flank have helped balance attack and structure. Reece James, Sanchez, and younger defenders provide consistent support which collectively allows the system to breathe rather than be rigid. The pattern here is clear. Chelsea's core performers aren't overcoached. They are empowered, confident, and instinctive. Manchester United's tactical reset revealed a similar principle: simplification through trust. Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United's creative heartbeat, leads the club in assists with 12 and dominates the chances created charts, significantly ahead of teammates. Under Carrick, Fernandes isn't just passing, he's orchestrating. He's free to dictate tempo, launch attacks, and pull strings unencumbered by overbearing structure. Alongside him, Kobbie Mainoo's resurgence has been one of the most striking developments. Previously on the outskirts of first-team plans, he's now a consistent starter in midfield, contributing assists and showing mature control, which has almost revived England national team hopes. His comfort on the ball and calm transitions symbolize a collective shift from anxiety to authority. The anchor beneath it all? Casemiro's numbers show something important. A disciplined midfield presence, who protects spaces and gives freedom to others without needing to reinvent the structure. His presence allows United to transition cleanly rather than scramble. And the width comes from players like Bryan Mbeumo and Ahmed, who add balance. They stretch defenses and give the team attacking variety without complicating Carrick's core message. Defensive recoveries, duels won, and transitions are sharper, not frantic. What ties both teams together isn't a shared formation. It's what both coaches removed, not added. No heavy-handed tactical ego. No rigid philosophical impositions. No unnecessary disruption of player instincts. When Rosenior trimmed the noise at Chelsea, players like Palmer and João Pedro weren't burdened by overthinking. They just played. At United, Carrick trusted Bruno and Mainu to make decisions on the pitch rather than dictating them at all times. And that's why both teams look effortless at their best. Football becomes easy when players stop thinking about systems and start playing football again. 2 managers, 2 ideas, 1 league watching closely. Because when the noise fades and the numbers speak, you decide who's really playing better football.